Hey, so it's your guide of light to help you through the night. Sharing inspirational messages that come to me through events, music, encounters, whatever it is. Just laying there and hearing things. Either way it goes. Just wanted to share it's been raining here we're on day 3 and still have the rest of the week to go. And all my babies where I work are getting stir crazy, and they have to be entertained constantly. When it comes to children, it's like, do it, switch, do it, switch, do it, switch. It can get exhausting. Either way it goes, a lot of us are like that. When we have to be patient, it's like you can't go outside and play. The sun won't shine. Is everything going to work out? You start asking all these questions to yourself, and we can drive ourselves crazy. Like today, I even had a little boy. I was changing another baby's diaper, and he almost bit clearly through another girl's finger because he wanted the toy. Most of them don't talk, so that was his way of communicating. Don't get where you're going to bite someone's finger off because you just... Because I feel the discomfort would be the best way to put it. That things aren't going the way that we want them to go. And I'll speak personally for myself. Things are not going the way I want them to go in my life. But I'm having to understand that patience, practicing it, it's hard. It's very, very hard. But I know that things are being divinely orchestrated for me behind the scenes, and I can't see it right now. I've had to stop over-analyzing, and that's very hard because I'm an Aquarian. I'm a logical thinker. I sometimes think too much with my heart and jump right back to logic because that's what makes sense to me. And when you start getting stuck in your head because you're thinking, try to stop yourself. I'm talking to myself right now. Stop yourself, Sheena. Stop yourself. And whoever needs to hear that, because I know it's so difficult. I'm over here going, I'm tired of being nice. I'm tired of being patient. I'm tired of being loving. And that's where I'm kicking myself in my own ass, because I can't get tired of who I am. Yet there's days that I'm like, I don't want to be me anymore. I want to be Cruella DeVille or someone else that it seems they just get their shit done. They just plow through the streets and say, I'm here, bitches, and everyone moves out of the way. But that's not my path in life. I get that. And I'm trying really hard to accept the path I'm on without feeling used, abused, manipulated, because I understand people I'm encountering, we're teaching each other lessons. And it's really hard to appreciate your teacher. I understand this. I have been a teacher for a while. And it started with my own children. And then it was an early learning center. I was a swim instructor at one point, a painting teacher at another. And it's just the ones that loved me the most were the painting people, because they brought their own alcohol and we taught them how to paint. So they were really enjoyable and funny. Everything else is more structured, right? It's more discipline and teaching. This is how you're going to enter life. This is how life goes. And when it comes down to we're teaching each other the facts of life, either you're going to have to learn boundaries, or you're going to have to learn respect, or you're going to have to learn to drop your ego, or you're going to have to push your pride to the side, or you're going to have to learn to stand up for yourself. I don't know if I just said that. But when it goes down to it, the lessons that we're having to learn are things that go against the way we were taught. And that's the hardest lessons to learn, because everything inside of you is screaming, no, we can't do that. No, you can't do that. But everything in front of you is saying, do that. And it's not like spirit will lead you to put your finger in a light socket or go punch someone in the face. But like where I'm being led right now, I've always been really soft. I've sugar-coated things. And I have certain people from my past trying to come back and assert their power on me. And I'm like, oh, hold on. Wait a second. This is my life. You're trying to be a part of it. And the way that you're trying to approach me, back the fuck up. Because I don't need anyone coming into my life trying to tell me how to walk, talk, breathe, think, any of it. I'm human. I did it long before I met these people. I'll continue to do it long after they're gone. Hopefully you will learn to start asserting yourself in the same manner. Because I had someone tell me, that's my house just as much as yours. I'll come back, no one's going to fucking tell me otherwise. And I started laughing, and I was like, all right, bet, your house too. Bills are due today, bills are due on the 15th, and rent is on the 1st. This will cover your portion. Didn't hear from them again. Because don't come at me and try to tell me what I'm going to allow and accept in my life. Because nobody has the right to tell any of us how we're going to live our lives, what we're going to choose, what we're going to be okay with. And of course, as that conversation wasn't even a conversation because I didn't respond, other than this is your option, which is no option. I'm not giving you an option. The time for talking is over. The time for learning lessons is now. Because you had your chance. I tried to sugarcoat it. And now, the blunt, hard, cold facts come out on the table. And I have being pushed to say what I mean and mean what I say, which is funny because I've always preached that. I say what I mean and I mean what I say. But when I get into emotional relationships, I tend to get a little bit softer. And I heard something the other day that was, I'm real ghetto and gangster when I'm single and real soft and loving when I'm in a relationship. And I was like, that describes me to a T. We have to get a little bit harder when we're trying to protect ourselves. Because especially as you become more magnetic and you draw in all kinds of people, as your light shines, you're going to have a lot of toxic people try to come into your sphere of life. This is where you have to start thinking more logically, less emotionally, and not let your heart guide you. Because a lot of times our heart will misdirect us, our mind will make us overthink, and our emotions will make us feel like we're bipolar and out of control. So when it comes to a point where you're trying to figure out what you need to choose, that's where you have to silence yourself. And I know this is hard. It's very hard for me to silence myself. But that's where spirit can begin to speak to you, flow through you, guide you. Because if you think you're doing this all on your own, I don't even want to say that's not true. We're not here alone. Do I need to repeat that? We're not here alone. We are here, and there is a bigger presence that is the driving force for everything that we are. And as we begin to acknowledge that more and more, spirit comes to us more and more. And that's because when we deny that, we're the ones that are placing the barrier between us and spirit. It has nothing to do with spirit abandoning us, because spirit has never left. Spirit is always within you, around you, among us. It's when we make excuses, create battles, say I'm doing it all on my own, that we begin to separate ourselves from the gracious gift of divine guidance. Because you can walk around in the land of devils, which is where we're at, and think that I can do it. And every day you go through basically the same path. Most people take the same path to work, to school, to the store, wherever it is. And nothing really changes. Traffic stays the same. Accidents still occur. People are still raging. Some people are calm and just going with the flow. But for the most part, nothing changes until you change it. And then when you change it is when you start to see a detour, let's say, that can take you to a better place. It's like I was going to the old job I had, and I told myself one day, I'm just going to take this road and see where it goes. And it's funny because that detour is actually what helped me get out of the old job that just was so toxic into the new job that I'm falling in love with more and more every time I work. My kids are growing and standing up taller, and I'm starting to be able to relate to them more and get them to open up. I'm starting to get them to let their guard down and see them heal, because I have autistic children. I have boys with no fathers that are there that are very angry. I have other kids that their language isn't as excelled as their classmates and they get frustrated. It's just a lot of having to be patient. And it's funny when you are on a certain path in life and you're guided to a place that you need to be, you will be taught those lessons. Like I've had to learn about patience and communication and accepting and picking my battles, and not saying I've been controlling, but learned to surrender to what is around me. So these kids have helped me to have a softer approach, but to also have that sternness that is necessary to say, no, you're not going to cross that boundary. You don't have a choice. Not because you're a child and I'm an adult, but because I'm watching you right now and you can hurt yourself, right? And having to get them to understand instead of me explaining and them just going, whatever, and still doing whatever they want. Because we all need explanations that help us to grow and understand. When you're talking at somebody, they shut down automatically. When you're talking to somebody and a conversation seems to arise, all of a sudden you're getting to where you're understanding one another. Change can I'm getting tongue-tied. Change can occur. Growth is possible. Healing can become a new reality. But it's the way that we speak to one another that is very important in order to be able to reach one another. Because I can yell at you all day long. It's not going to change your attitude. I can tell you to get out of the mood you're in. It's not going to help you to do that. I can even come up if you're sad and depressed and make you smile and laugh for a second, but that's not going to help bring you out of the stupor that you're in. And a lot of times we just need people to sit with us in the darkness to help us get past what we're feeling so we can move forward. Now, a lot of times though, like in the situation I'm dealing with, that person was in the darkness and I tried to sit with them very patiently until I had to cut ties because their toxicity was leaching into my life, every fiber of my being. So I had to tell them I can't do this anymore. Then they wanted to wake up. But that's back to like children. No, you go sit in your timeout. No, you keep your karma over there. No, you stay away from me. No, you had a chance. No, you said no. And that's where asserting boundaries comes back in. You tap danced all over everything I was not okay with. You neglected worrying about my feelings. You neglected even having conversations that could help you grow. You avoided the whole situation until the situation was not an option. So if you're in these places yourself and someone's reaching out to you, reach back because their hand will not always be there. If you're the one having to practice patience, continue to practice it, but don't let someone tap dance all over your boundaries. Be okay pushing out things from your life that are toxic. Be okay knowing that everything is very scary at the point that you are in. Honestly, I'm at that point right now. I'm not going to lie. My life has been a shit show for a very hot minute. And I still can only keep trying to help others get out of their own shit show. Because I know we all going through it. Life is not easy. Life has not been easy for a very long time. And it's when you get around people that feel like they're the only ones with worry, stress, drama, pain, that starts irking. It irks me. I don't know about y'all, but I can't stand when someone feels like they're walking the lonely life of misery and you don't know what I'm going through. Because that is an arrogant person to believe that everyone else has it easy and they're the only one struggling. And at no point have I ever thought that everyone's blessed and I'm cursed, because it's not how life is. I've had to look at it from a standpoint that, oh, okay, I have a lot to learn. We all have a lot to learn. The sooner you start learning the lessons, the sooner you can move past the pain. And I'm a very, very stubborn person. It's kind of helped me get to where I am. But at some point I've had to realize that my stubbornness can begin to soften. It doesn't mean that I'm giving in or giving up. It means that I'm surrendering and allowing for guidance. Guidance from something that's way greater than myself. And we all need to learn to say thank you again. We all need to be able to look at the lessons that are in our life and say thank you for helping me grow in that manner. Because had I not gone through that, I would have never learned that. Had I not felt that, I would have never been able to empathize with somebody else. Had I not seen that, I would not be able to sympathize on the other side. Had I not walked through the darkness, I would have never known the light. So it's got to be at some point where there's a positive spin put on a negative situation. Because the outcome is based on how you're going to approach whatever trials and tribulations you're going through. Like I said, just don't bite someone's finger off. Don't punch anyone in the face. It's okay to get upset. When you get upset, go sit somewhere. Let it ruminate with you. Work through those feelings. But don't lash out on somebody else, because all you're doing is sharing your pain. And people like happiness too. So I'm going to leave it on that note, and hopefully somebody got something out of that. Peace, love, and light. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.